Okay, I think this is live. I'm not sure. I'm just trying this out, seeing if my internet can handle it. I'm not sure if it can. And if it works, I'm going to start doing some live painting, maybe live painting, maybe do Q&As, chats about stuff, chats about art. Maybe I can talk about my extensive art career, or maybe I can just talk about the colors that I use. Maybe I can go into mini monologues about painting. Anyway, it seems to be holding. I wondered about my internet. I wasn't sure if my internet was going to hold. You never know with internet, especially when it's not the fast fiber internet. This is just a regular broadband. Bring back the puppet. Oh, that was fun. I do some weird stuff on this channel. I really should just paint, but every now and then I get silly ideas. It was Smidge. The puppet was called Smidge. Oh, the puppet. Yeah, so maybe since it's working, I might be able to change the title of this. And hello, Mike Norton. And Mr. Self-Destruct. Smidge. Yeah, maybe I'll do it again. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I should bring Smidge on the live. That'd be funny. Yeah, so one of the questions I get a lot, maybe I'll answer that. And when I say I got this question a lot, I've had it about 2 times. What paints should I buy? I'm a beginner. What paint should I buy? And that's a big question. That's a hard question because I wouldn't know. When I first started, I bought all kinds of paints, all kinds. Hello from the US. Bring on Smidge. Thanks, Timothy Price. Maybe I should bring back Smidge. Anyway, go back to what I was saying. Oh, the Smidge. I'll have to bring him back. Maybe it can be a guest appearance, especially if I do lives. Maybe it could be the new mascot for lives. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, so I'll answer this question. What paint should I buy? Because when I first went into an art shop and I looked at the vast array of paints, I was like, whoa, what shall I get? And what green should I get? What blue should I get? What red should I get? What yellow should I get? It's hard to know what to buy. So what I think of now is I try and squeeze my palette down as much as I can, like Ross would do. Squeeze my palette down to only a few, and I think with like a blue, for instance, I always, for now, I tend to go with 2 blues a lot: ultramarine blue and cerulean blue, and those 2 blues. And then I always partner ultramarine blue with burnt umber, because then I can get my blacks. And then with the blue and brown, you can mess around and make different types of blacks. And then a bit of white, you can make different grays as well. So then more blue, you get the cooler grays or cooler darks. And then the more brown, it gets a bit warmer. And then with the red, the cadmium red, which seems to be my go-to red at the moment, is you throw a bit of that in, and then you get a warmer black. So you get a nice warm black, which is what I like to throw different types of darks in now. I like to go with a cool dark or a warm dark. It's all about warm, cool, warm, cool. That's what I tend to do anyway. And so with your blue, I tend to go with the two blues, ultramarine blue and cerulean blue. Cerulean blue, a lot of the time it's a hue. And yeah, speaking of Bob Ross, that's what I got when I first started. All I got was Bob Ross stuff, and it's a really good palette of colours actually. The Bob Ross palette is a really good palette. It's got all the colours you'd need, really. But to squeeze it down even further, like so, ultramarine blue, cerulean blue, but like phthalo blue is so strong. That's the only thing about phthalo blue; it just goes whoa at you. But it's a good one. But and then the reds, I think I go with cadmium red and alizarin crimson, because then you've got alizarin crimson. You can pretty much, that could be your red. Cadmium red, you don't really need that much. It's very very often you don't need it, to be honest. But it's nice to have, and you only need a little blob, and you could just sparkle the color. So that's two for the reds. So you've got cadmium red, alizarin crimson for red, two for blue, ultramarine blue, cerulean blue, and then going for green. A lot of the older palettes, like from what I've read in older books, all they used was viridian green. And nowadays, our viridian green is mostly phthalo green, because when you get viridian green hue, it's always phthalo green. And some paints, you get different versions of phthalo, like yellow shade phthalo and all this. It gets so complicated. You could end up with 3 phthalo green paints when you only really need one. So phthalo green is a good one. If you think that's your viridian green, your phthalo green. Sap green, I tend to use that quite a lot as well. Another Bob Ross staple, sap green. So you got phthalo green, sap green. In fact, they're 2 Bob Ross staples as well, actually. Yeah, so I go with those greens. So that's 6 colours. And then we've got the yellows and cadmium yellow. You could get away with just cadmium yellow. I'm really liking Naples yellow though. So I either go with cadmium yellow or chrome yellow, and then I use my Naples yellow for my sparkles, because I read somewhere about the masters using Naples yellow for highlighting rather than using pure white. I thought, oh well, I'll just get some Naples yellow and go, and then that'll do, and that's a bit quicker. So I went with the old Naples yellow, which seemed to work quite well. And so that's 2 yellows. So now what have we got? Ultramarine blue, cerulean blue, sap green, viridian green. So that's the blues, greens, reds. We've got alizarin crimson, cadmium red, and then yellows, cadmium yellow, Naples yellow. So other colours that I would throw in, burnt sienna. Burnt sienna I use quite a lot, especially with portraits. I find like my skin tone, a little bit of burnt sienna seems to work quite well for that. Oh, I've just thought yellow ochre. Ooh, I have to throw 3 yellows now. Yellow ochre is another portrait classic, and I used it loads in my latest video, which is quite long, over 3 hours. but it may be 3 hours long, but you know, it was on a big board, and I got carried away. I just thought, I'll make a video. why not? Let's do this big board. It'll be fun. So I did that. So yes, what are we on? Yellow. So we've got yellow ochre, cadmium yellow, Naples yellow. So if anyone's got any questions, by the way, you can ask them, and I'll see if I can answer them. I'm getting used to this whole live business. I've not done it before. I wasn't sure if it would even work on my internet, but it seems to work okay. So I'm happy about that. So yeah, so we've got our yellows: yellow ochre, cadmium yellow, Naples yellow. Another yellow that sometimes, if I don't use cadmium yellow, I use chrome yellow, and I use it only because Van Gogh used it. Van Gogh used it. Well, I want to use it. If there's a painter that I really admire using a certain pigment, then I'll be looking for it. Although the chrome yellow I use is a hue, because chrome yellow, original chrome yellow, is in fact poisonous. You can buy the pigment. Well, you could. I don't know if you still can. But I don't really want to make a dangerous paint. It scares me. It does scare me. It scared me making chrome oxide green. I made that, and that was a little bit. It was a bit scary, but I made it, and I've been using that as well. But I don't find it very versatile as a green. I find it very it's a very drab green. You can't brighten it as well. Like sap green and viridian green, you can brighten that up really easily, but with that chromium oxide green, it's a bit drab. I do kind of like it in a way though, because it's different, I suppose. And because when you make it, you're like, ooh, I made it, so I'll use it. Have you put away the water mixable oils and gone back to regular oils? I haven't. I use both. I've got a mixture, and I just mix it all up. I've got old Georgian oils that I bought, because I bought loads. My hair's a bit messy. I'm not sure if this is going to work, otherwise I would comb my hair. No, what I did is I bought a load of paints really cheap, Georgian oils. So I got those because they changed the packaging on them, and I was like, ooh, packaging change, cheap paints, powder tube. Oh, I'll get some of those. So I got a load of these powder tube Georgian paints, and then I've got my water mixable paints, which I really like. And the reason I really like water mixable oils is they're so easy to wash off your hands. When you get regular oil paint on your hands, you're scrubbing away to try and get the paint off your hands using washing up liquid. That's what I tend to use, washing up liquid and sugar. It washes off with a brush. But water mixable oils, you get that on your hand, easy to wash off. Easy, you know, great. That's why I like water mixable oils. And I'm not bothered if they're different to what they used to use. I quite like them. So it's kind of a mix for me. It's what I've got. Homemade ones, water mixable ones, and regular oils. I just use them all. Let's see what Liam Matthew. Hi Jason, what other brands are good apart from the Bob Ross paints? Oh, which are good for wet on wet? Yeah. Well, the wet on wet technique, the original Bob Ross paints, which I used to have, I can't get those ones anymore. They were specifically designed for that technique. So the darker colors were a lot thicker than the browns, especially the Van Dyke brown. It was such a thick consistency, that paint is, and the blues, and they were really good design, but they changed manufacturer and all the paints changed. I don't really want to say any more on that, but the original ones were awesome, and I don't know about the newer ones because I haven't bought them, but I didn't hear great reviews. So what could you use instead? You'd have to do a little bit of manipulation, because any oil paints would work. It's just you'd need to add a little bit of, say, talcum powder into the paint, the dryer, to make them drier. So you'd have to get some ground up chalk and then mix that in with your darks to make the same consistency. And I've done that before. I did that with the with some. I mixed a bit of burnt umber and ivory black, mixed it, because that's Van Dyke brown, burnt umber and ivory black, and I mixed that in with some really fine chalk, and it worked. I even mixed it with talcum powder because I didn't have any chalk at the time, and I made a video on that. There is a video on how you do that. And I used Winton oils. I got some big tubes of Winton oils because they're fairly cheap and they're easy for me to get. The Winsor & Newton Winton oils. They come in quite big tubes as well sometimes. And I mixed some of the darks, and then I used the yellow how it was. A lot of the colours you can use how they are, like the lights. The yellows, like cadmium yellow, yellow ochre, Indian yellow, bright red, I think. So that's not a very thick paint. That's quite thin. Yeah, they were all right. The white, I find you need two whites. You need a thick white and a thin white. You'll notice if you watch Bill Alexander, he uses that quite a lot, and he started the technique. Bill Alexander taught Bob Ross, and there's loads of videos that they keep putting on, which I'm quite enjoying. I think Bill Alexander's awesome. He's so energetic and let's paint. He's so much fun to watch. I can see why his show was so good. Yeah, so Winton oils, you might need to manipulate them a bit, but most oils are all right. I mean, every brand of paints like De La Rowney, Winsor & Newton, they're both good, and they're quite. You can buy them out pretty much everywhere. And then you go into the artist paints. That's when it gets a bit more expensive. But to make it cheaper, to get artist oils, you make your own. And although it's a bit more challenging, and the initial startup to make your own paints is a bit expensive, but once you've got the glass slab and the muller and all that stuff, pigments, you can get them bags of pigment and bottles of oil and then make your own paints, and you've got artist paints that way, because artist oils is just pigment and oil, and that's it. Where most companies mix fillers into the paint and put other stuff in. Yeah. That was a long-winded answer. Have I created? I'm 13. Have you created art since you were young? From Peak Fall. I did, yeah. When I was a kid, I used to do a lot of drawing, and I was never very good. I was never a good artist. In fact, I'm still learning, to be honest. And I used to draw my action figures. So I would set my action figures up, and then I'd draw them. And then my brother would try and get me to draw his. And then when I'd go to my nan's, my cousin would get me to draw Spider-Man. And I'd draw Spider-Man and stuff. And I really used to enjoy it when I was a kid. But unfortunately, when you go, I don't know why. When I went through school, I did my GCSE art and I did rubbish, and I got a grade D. And I thought, well, I can't paint, I can't draw, I've got no talent, so I just gave up. And then I was like, later on, like a few years later, I decided, I'll have another crack at this. Got some watercolors, had a disaster, and gave up again. I mean, it's not easy, is it? I think painting it's such a challenge. There's such a lot of work involved that you don't realise, and I don't believe in talent anymore, because I just think it's something you can learn. Anything like painting and drawing, you can learn as long as you work and work and work. You can learn, and you'll be able to do it. So at 13, I would keep going, keep drawing, keep painting, and don't let anyone say you're not good enough, because if you're 13 and starting and you carry on, imagine when you're 23, you'd have 10 years of drawing and painting behind you. You'd be amazing. So don't do what I did and just give up. Keep going, keep battling on. I'm just reading, see if I can. There's a nice message from Simon Holt. Yeah, thanks for the message. Mark Sidebottom. Do oil paintings of ladies' face. Can't get it right. Any ideas, please? Yeah, that's my challenge as well, actually. For some reason, I can paint a guy's face really easy now. I can draw and paint male faces. Like, I feel like I'm just going, oh, da 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 da, done it. Look at me, I'm a great master. But then I go painting a woman's face, and yeah, it becomes a lot harder. I don't know why that is. I know female artists that struggle doing male faces, so it makes me wonder if there's something in the that idea that a man finds it easier to draw or paint a man, and a woman finds it easier to draw or paint a woman. Be interesting. That I should do a study. Any tips? What I do, I haven't really shown this that much on the videos, but I find if you use board, then if you're painting on board, what's that on board up there? I can't even remember. But if you're painting on board, I'll just get that painting down. It's on a really, really fine canvas, actually. But say, like this painting, which is so small. It's really, I don't know if it's going to show, really finely smudged. Finely smudged. And what I do is I'll put like my paints next to each other with the brushes, and then I'll use my finger and just smudge the paint together to get a soft blend. And I find with female faces, my personal thought anyway, is that it needs to be a bit smoother than man's face. I find if I can paint with brush strokes with men's faces, and it always comes out looking all right. Tried it with female faces and it doesn't. And I find that you need to be a little bit softer. So yeah, it's something I'm still working on as well, to be honest. What have we got? Legend is live. Hi Jason, I struggle with trees. Help from TL. Struggling with trees. Yeah. Know what you mean. Here's the trick to learning how to do anything. So I found to paint anything, whether it's a tree, an apple or a face, is you need to do it more. So if you're trying to think up a tree in your head, you're doing your painting. Now I've done all the errors and mistakes, if they are errors, I don't know, that you can think of. I've done them. So you're doing your painting, you're enjoying yourself. You're like la di da di da, mountains in, rivers in, I'm great. Oh, I want to paint a tree. Oh, I can't remember what a tree looks like. Well, they're sort of bushy things, and I'll just bush it all up, and then it just looks like a blob of green. You think, ah, right. So how can I make my trees better is if you get a little sketchbook and go find a tree and draw it or paint it. Take a little sketchbook like these, if I can find one. These earthbound sketchbooks. Oh, it's the wrong way around. Like earthbound sketchbooks, Cachet by De La Rowney. But you can also get can't find there's some that look similar to this in art shops, but they're for scrapbooking, and they're amazing. They're really cheap, but they're amazing for doing sketching with paints. Just have a look in here, see if there's anything any good. Can't show you that. Oh god, some awful sketching in here. Got to find something decent that I can show, otherwise this sketchbook is oh yes, a masterpiece. Yeah, so these are really good. These are good. The reason I prefer doing like sketching on this sort of thing is that's your mid-tone, and then you just can put your lights and darks and you'll see it all. That's why. And also in outside, if you're trying to paint a landscape, it's better on a mid-tone, because if it's white, it goes in your eyes and it's too bright, and it makes it harder to paint what you're trying to do. So yeah, what I did is I went outside and painted loads of trees and sat in the woods painting, scaring people as they walked by. And it's funny actually, I was sat there on a log in the middle of the woods sketching away. I'm having fun here, realizing there's more branches in the woods than I realized, millions of them. I can't paint all these. And then this bloke turns up with his dog, and he didn't even see me. And he was like, oh. I was like, oh, hello. That happens all the time as well, because I tend to wear like almost in camos, hiding away there in the woods. And then if you wear greens, darks, then you might get the chance of a deer walking out, and then you can quickly paint that. And that's tend to be why I wear stuff to camouflage myself a bit. But then it does scare people when they realize there's a person there. Yeah, so do some sketching of trees, and when you're out, even observing a tree in your garden or a tree on the internet, try and observe the light that passes through. Because that's another thing that I found with trees, is I didn't realize how much light passes through the tree. I used to just block the thing in and then put the greeny yellow highlights on and go, yeah, there's a tree. But I didn't see all the sky and things that's through it, through the leaves. It's amazing that when you're actually out there and seeing it for your own eyes for the first time, it seems like you're like, oh, there's light passing through the trees. Oh, I had no idea. I better put that in my painting, because then it'll add a bit of realism. Yeah, it's amazing. And yes, I hope that helps. Thanks for the epic 3-hour painting you uploaded. Yeah, that was it's a big painting. It's a long one. Oh yeah, when you're in the woods, it is very strange. You do see things, see the way the light hit things, and it's amazing. You can see how people find it spooky. I find it a bit spooky, especially when it gets a bit darker. Yeah, so we was going on our palette of colours, the beginner palette of colours. That's where I was at. So let's go through that. So now I know this stream works, I'll be more prepared next time. Maybe I'll ask for questions, and then I can go through loads of questions. Because I think I'll probably do better at doing Q&As. Then I could rant about stuff. I can do Q&As. Yeah, I can tell you about all the stuff that I hate, and then I can talk about all the stuff that I think is great. And then I can answer questions. Good morning from the Philippines, from Kilnmaster. Good morning. Hello, Mr. Struthers. Get out. BBC 4 Freeview on TV. Oh yeah, Bob Ross is on BBC 4. Thanks for the message, Mark Sidebottom. I did notice he was on because I am a Bob Ross CRI. Yes, that's right. I'm a certified Ross instructor, and they give me updates, and they mention that, and that was an interesting thing to do, to become a Bob Ross CRI. It was really good. I really enjoyed the classes that I went to, because I went to some classes with some really good painters, and I learned so much. There was one lady who showed me to use more paint, and that made a massive difference forever in my painting. A lady called Ellen Ty. She was brilliant. So yeah, she was a really good teacher. She taught me about that. More paint, using more paint. It's a good thing to use more paint, because I find, like, as a beginner painter, we don't use much paint. I don't know why. I used to see it when I was teaching people. It would, well, actually, when I was teaching, I'd see two things. I'd see hardly any paint used, or tons of it used. And when you're trying to do a little bit of a business, and you're doing classes, and you see someone going, and they're pouring like half a tube on their palette, there's your profit gone. That's why I don't teach. I found it. I found doing classes, I wasn't earning any money. I mean, I enjoyed teaching, and but it was hard for me. I found it hard anyway, because you got to pay for a hall, and then you paint. I used to provide canvases and paints, and then you imagine all the paint thinner you've got to buy, and all the paints you got to buy, brushes and stuff you got to buy, all the canvases, easels, palettes. Oh man. I don't know how I did it. I did it for a while, but yeah, it's that's a hard one. But it was great learning the technique and getting better at it. Have you been learning from Deb K? Have been learning from you about limited color palette. Ah, that's good. Yeah, so the palette. I'm going back to the limited palette. So I went, what I always tend to do, 2 greens. In fact, I go with 2. I think I go with 2 on everything, except white. Just 1 white. Titanium white. What other white do you need? Why is there so many whites? Flake white, Tintin white, mixing white. Oh yes, all these different whites, and I only use 1, titanium white. The one thing about titanium white, this is if you're making your own white. Titanium white, if you make it homemade with linseed oil, compressed linseed oil, and titanium white, then your paint is stronger than what they sell in the shops, but you'll notice it's not as white. The actual film that it creates is really strong, but it's not as white, and you'll be like, if you're like me anyway, you'd make it and you go, well, why isn't this as white than the one that I've got in my tube? And you realize, the white in the tube has zinc in it, zinc white, and they put a bit of zinc white in with the titanium white to oh, my phone's just going crazy, so I'll have to remember to mute my phone. Yeah, so they put zinc white in with the titanium white, and then chuck the linseed oil in, and they mix that together. And I didn't know that, and it makes it the white whiter. But technically, if you had the zinc white titanium white mix here and the titanium white mix, just titanium there, and you put them on a paint, you put them on a painting and the sun's on it, it will look the same. So here's some information you've never known and you probably never wanted to know. That's what this channel's all about, teaching stuff that's useless. Nicholas O, hi Jason, hi Nicholas. Do you sell many of your works? If so, where do you sell them? That's something I need to do more. I'm trying to do something. I'm not sure what angle I'm going to go for. I've had paintings in galleries before, and I find it's strange actually, because when I wanted to get in a gallery, I was like, oh yeah, get your painting in a gallery, that would be the best. And you get it in the gallery and then it doesn't sell. And then what do you do? Are you having to pay for the wall space, which is, it's just money going down the drain, and each week it doesn't sell. Are you paying for that wall each week? And there's your money going. So yeah, it's something I need to work out a bit better. I've sold a few on Facebook where I've posted them, and people have been generous enough to buy them. And I've sold to some people at work, like painting their dogs and things. I did loads of dogs. I was painting dog after dog. After you painted a few dogs, you're like, oh no, I can't do another one. I'm more of a landscape painter, I gotta be honest. I do like dabbling in portraits and things, but I am really more of a landscape painter. And if saying that, I've been spending hours and hours on this portrait, and it's looking pretty nice, and I'm using all the tricks that I know, and it is looking pretty nice so far. I don't have a picture of that actually. It's I will show you it. I'll do it on a live. Quite liking this live idea. need to get, might do a regular live. Maybe I could do one a week or one a month. Maybe I could do one a week. Live with Jason Bowen. Do, 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 do. Thanks for all the good messages. You know, sometimes, this sounds weird, when you make YouTube videos, you put them out there, and you're not really sure how people are going to react, especially when I first started and I put them on, and I'd be like, because I wasn't really that confident in my painting, and I wasn't really I wasn't confident at all, actually. I just put on a fake confidence and did the painting and thought, oh well, see how people react to this one. But now I've done it for a while, I just enjoy that people are getting inspiration from my painting, and I see a lot of the same names that are enjoying my work as well, and I just, it's good to see that. It's good to see people following for so long as well. I think to myself, those poor people following my videos for that long. Do you have a day job? Are you a full-time artist? I wish I was a full-time artist. I do have a day job. I keep pushing myself, and doing this. YouTube is a really low income. You probably noticed that I should have a rant meter. Maybe if I do a rant, I could put this candle on. Rant alert. Oh, it doesn't work. Maybe I should start getting a rant alert. This is the rant alert meter. So YouTube, let me tell you this. Yeah, YouTube is a really low earner. I won't rant about YouTube. They might kick me off. Yeah. So yeah, YouTube's really low earning. It's gone lower and lower, and you'll notice that people on YouTube have started exiting. I'll go on to somewhere else. I'm hanging in there. I've been on here for a while. I'm staying. Wow, someone Righteous Oxide, been following your channel since at least 2013. That is amazing. That is amazing. That deserves that. And everyone else that's following, thanks very much. And you can become a member. There's a few videos for members. I appreciate any support. And I need to make some more on the educational side videos, which I plan on doing now that my pen works again. I managed to get a new one. That was a bit of a nightmare. How did you first find out about the great Bob Ross? Well, I accidentally stumbled across some videos on this website where they were downloadable, and I ended up, downloading all of them. I'd never heard of him. I was searching for videos on how to paint, desperately searching. When I thought, oh, I really want to paint, I really want to do oil painting, I was desperate to find somebody who would teach me. And funny thing is, when I was in this gallery looking at someone's paintings, and I saw the artist was there, I was like, the artist is here. Time for me to go in there and find out everything there is about painting. And I fired question after question at him, and he looked so uncomfortable. To be honest, he didn't really answer that many, and I think he wanted me to leave because I wasn't planning on buying any of his paintings that he was stood by, which, yeah, I can see why. And he wasn't there to teach, but yeah, so I didn't get any luck there. So I was looking at videos. This was before I had internet as well, because you don't know this one. This is a bit embarrassing, but when I first started YouTube, I didn't have internet at home, so I would make my video, put it on a memory stick, go to the library and upload it on their computer. So I'd be sat there in the library going, oh, it's still uploading. Everyone's internet goes because my video's uploading. And yeah, I can't believe I used to do that. I think about that, I'm like, blimey, I can't believe I used to do that. Go to the library to use the internet. That was mad. Sat there, grabbing a book. Someone walking over. Excuse me, you finished on that computer? Oh no. I'm just researching this while I'm doing this. Type it away. While checking my upload. Still only on 10%. Going around really slowly. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, so I found Bob Ross on a website. Now it's available on YouTube, and and yeah, and I was amazed. I watched one video, and he did this forest scene, and I was like, whoa, that is amazing. That he had this big brush, and he was there going chung 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 chung. I was like, ooh, I need to do this. This is amazing. How is he painting so fast? How is? And then I started watching another one, and he was he painted this. Oh, what was it? Like it was a big sort of. It was like at the side of a sea, and there was a cabin here, and there was a boat, and there was another cabin. It was quite complex, really, and he did it with his 2-inch brush and wiggled it down to make wood and stuff. I was blown away at the skills of Bob Ross. It still amazes me, actually, when you think about the time that they get. 27 minutes. 20. It might be even a bit less than that. That Bob Ross was able to do a painting that good in that time. It just amazes me. Same with Bill Alexander. You can tell Bill Alexander, he really wants to teach you more. He really wants to teach you more and more and more, and you can tell in his videos. Well, he says it a few times. But I'm like both of them, they probably want to teach more. Even Bob Rossi says that like this is a way into painting, and then you can do more and more and more. And I'm sure if he had the chance, he'd probably do 3-hour videos like me as well. Because it is amazing. The speed that Bob Ross paints is amazing. Let's have a look at Miriana Carey. Sorry if I butcher people's names. I'm really bad at names. What's the next painting? Well, hot off the presses. The next painting, I'm going to paint a car. Yeah. There's a there's like a tree, but it's the best tree ever. And then there's a car here. It was actually when I was out for a walk with my camera, and I always have this idea in my head when I'm out walking, like I'm gonna find this area where there's a bit of a waterfall, and I'm gonna take a picture of that, and I'm gonna paint that. But then when I get there, I saw this red car next to this tree, and there was the path that went round, and I took a picture of that, and I thought, that's the painting. That is the painting. So I'm going to do it quite big. I might do 18 by 24, just so I can get it done in less than 2 hours. So usually 2 hours is my max, because mainly the uploading takes ages, and editing, I've got to think about editing as well. So for 3 hours, why not? I could do a 10-hour episode. Yeah. No, but 2 hours is probably a good time, because that's when my camera runs out, at 2 hours. So yeah, it's going to be a car. So if you've never painted a car before, this is the episode for you. And there's going to be a tree in it, a big tree. So again, it's going to be great. A big tree, car. What more can you ask for? This is the channel to be on. So what else would I like? Maybe I should do rants. Alarm. my YouTube channel gets shut down for Jason Bowen rants. I really liked your camera setup during the Oil Eyes series with all views. Yeah, that was a good setup. Unfortunately, one of the cameras broke, so I go with my 2 camera setup now, because it's easier, and that's the only reason. Funny enough, my most popular video on YouTube, I used an old camera, one camera, and facing the canvas, and you don't even see me, and that's got over 1 million views, which is amazing considering the way I set it up. I use chalk sometimes for painting backgrounds. Bob Ross is on Monday on BBC 4. Some people make fun of Bob Ross. I don't get that. I don't get. That's from Deb K. Thanks for the comment. I don't get why people make fun of Bob Ross at all. I can't understand it. I've never understood it. I tell you, when I used to release videos using that style, I got so much hate. It was unreal. I had private messages of hate, comments of hate, lots and lots of hate. And a lot of them were against that style of painting, which again, I don't understand that either. What's the matter with people? Don't get it. I can only think the people that complain about it are stupid. So that the only thing I could think of, because Bob Ross does teach a lot. He doesn't do it in a too technical way, but he's doing it. He's giving you like the ways you can create something. He's giving you the ideas and the materials. Everything's there, and people just whinge about, oh, that's not painting. They didn't used to paint like that hundreds of years ago. But then the people that are usually whinging about Bob Ross, oh no, maybe I should get the rantometer on again. Let's rant about people that hate Bob Ross. Okay, when this candle's on, I'm going to be ranting about why I hate people that hate Bob Ross. Yeah, so it's ridiculous. They dislike Bob Ross and they hate it all. They hate the whole thing because they don't understand it. They don't realize that painting is painting, whether you're using the Bob Ross technique or if you're using any technique. I mean, it's not even the Bob Ross technique, it's just a way of painting that Bob Ross learned from Bill Alexander. And Bill Alexander, even he says that things that he thought he made up, Rembrandt used to do and other painters used to do. So all the techniques were used years ago anyway, and just because you're using bigger brushes. But then Constable, one of the great British painters, used big brushes. So yeah, they can all take that information. Constable, who won the gold medal of landscape painting in France, also used big brushes, and he used to go oh, the rant over. Yeah, I don't know why people dislike Bob Ross's style. It's really silly. What was the big canvas, and can we have Mr. Producer on more? I thought people might dislike the Mr. Producer character person that was ringing me, so I kind of stopped doing it. I thought it was a little bit crazy. You get stuck on a painting, do you put it aside then move on? Yes. Sometimes it's weird actually, because sometimes I'm doing a painting, I'm enjoying myself, and then I get stuck, or I start thinking my painting looks awful. And I was doing that with a portrait recently, and I was painting it, and I thought, oh, it's not looking right, everything's rubbish. So I thought to myself, I'll just get up, I'll go out of the room, have a tea or coffee or hot chocolate or a pineapple juice or whatever, relax, watch a movie, go back in. Oh, it's not as bad as I thought. Because sometimes when I was painting this face, all the colours, everything was just annoying me. Everything was annoying me, and I couldn't seem to get anywhere on it. And when I went back in after, I was like, well, that looks fine. I don't know why I was getting so annoyed. It actually looks fine. It actually looked really good, actually. Even if I do say so myself. It looked really good, and I was like, well, maybe I was going a bit crazy for no reason. Yeah, the big canvas. I started a big canvas and I made an error. So silly me. I thought, do a big canvas, great big canvas. Started it on the floor. And what didn't I do? I didn't go by my own rules, which is how I paint now. Is I don't paint detail until the end. That's what I tell myself. And if I get an area painted, then I don't mind doing detail. I'll do it. I don't mind. You know, I'll live life precariously and do that. But what I should do, me personally, I should do the painting as blocks. Block the thing in. Forget the detail. Just block the thing in. Get all the middle color or the dark or whatever. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. No, when I think about it, it doesn't matter as long as it blocked in, and then do the detail. But what was I doing? Doing detail. Doing detail on the people. I got all these people looking really great, but then I realized I haven't even painted the background properly. I haven't painted the big house. I haven't So I was sort of looked at it and I thought, oh no, I've messed up there, because now I'm gonna have to check everything to make sure everything's right, and I haven't even drawn anything on it. I was just painting. So the people are not going to be in the exact spot that I need them to be to use them to draw the house and everything. So I put it aside. I was like, yeah. So I don't know about that. I need to. What I might do is I might just paint over it. Might design a painting and do what I did on the 3-hour episode and just paint over the painting, and then at least then I could maybe I could film it, do a really I don't even know how I would film such a big painting actually. Have you ever done a sunset on the beach? I think I have. In my Oil Eyes series I did one. Are you able to keep water-soluble paints wet with spirits or water between paint applications? What I do at the moment is I've got a jar, I've got linseed oil in it, and I've got oil of cloves in it. And the oil of cloves stops the linseed oil from drying. So I dip my brushes in it, and then that stops it from oxidizing too quick. So I never clean my brushes. I got that out of this book. Not sure where it is. There's this big, thick book, and the Artist Handbook, and I got it out of that. It would work the same with water mixable oils, because what you could do if you wanted to prevent that oxidization from happening is you could do that, and then you just wipe the brush when you're ready to use it. You could use like a baby wipe your brush, and then use a paper towel and wipe that, and then I tend to mix it with a little bit of paint and then wipe it again on paper towel, and then it's ready. Seems to work for me at the moment anyway. Yeah, good question that is, because that's one of the things that stopped me from using the bigger brushes, paint thinner. But there is a way of creating your own paint cleaner without paint thinner in it, and I've tried it out. It was what was it now? Fairy liquid. Well, I used fairy liquid, and it was quite a lot. And then it was oil. I can't remember what oil it was. I think I used linseed oil, fairy liquid, and then water. I think it was that. And then I mixed it up, and I did manage to clean a big brush in it, but then I had to rinse it, and I don't know, not sure about it. It's hard with big brushes. That's why I tend to use like filbert brushes rather than the big brushes. Yeah, hope that helps. I might wrap this up for today. It seems to have worked quite well. I thought my internet would die. But yeah, that's a good good spot there, Simon. I didn't steal the humor from watching Rick Mail. Yeah, I totally. It's kind of like Young Ones and Bottom, and yeah, it is. It's totally ripped off from that sort of stuff. I used to love watching that. A video on brushes, yeah. Maybe I'll talk about brushes on a live. I think this is a good way for me to talk about equipment and things. If I organize myself. I'll bring stuff in here, and then I can start talking through everything, and then I can open it up for questions, and maybe I could get a rantometer somewhere that I can rant about art stuff and things. So yeah, I'll do that. I need to try and think of a day when I can do regular live streams. That'd be quite good. Be good to add that to my channel. When I went to YouTube head office a long time ago, they said that I should have live streams, but what they didn't know is I was going to the library to upload my videos. I could probably do live streams now. Yeah, so thanks very much for watching this live stream, and thanks for all the questions and your continued watching support. So I'll end this stream. I'm not sure what happens to it. I think it ends up on YouTube or something, but we'll see. I might need to change the name to Jason Waffling for over an hour. It's one thing I'm good at, is waffling. So I'll say thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you at another one. Cheers, bye.